Ben from Beer Baits, and today we're going to talk about spring fishing lures. Personally, I like to use red with the yellow belly. The reason why I like this is because you can use it in any water, muddy water, dark water, clear water, any water. And if you don't have one of these, there's Cabela's and there's Bass Pro. Not that expensive, probably about $5 or under. So if you don't want to go and spend some money on a fancy new crankbait, that's fine. You can use black, you can use yellow all around, you can use pretty much any color. Uh, personally, I just like to use red because it's an exotic color and it matches what the crawfish and crawdads look like in the spring. So that's why, because it catches the bass eye naturally. So when you are fishing and you cast, you're reeling in, you feel that huge tug and you get adrenaline. It's all because of that color.
This is Brendan from Beater Baits, and what I want to talk about today is making your grass counter. What I mean by that is the grass that you fish in, because what I like to throw in the grass is usually a frog, a jig, or a drop shot. That's usually what I like to use in the grass. So what I want to talk about right now is in January and February, it's just hydrilla, which I don't really fish since I live up in Ohio. I don't really fish January, February. If I get a few days when it's 60 and nice, I'll throw in a crankbait or some jigs or something, go real deep where the bass are. So starting in March to May, we have eelgrass, which I kind of like to fish eelgrass. It's what I fish with my jigs in the spring. And what I really like about the eelgrass is it's kind of like tilted and stuff, and it's really thin. It's a type of thin grass that it's good to throw drop shots in it. But the things I don't like about June through August is we have more grass that's more like coontail. It's more compacted, so it's harder to throw stuff through it. So there's various types of it. Also, I love lily pads, and there's a reason I really do love lily pads. Jigs and lily pads is one of my favorite things to throw because it just tears them up. It just absolutely tears them up. I'll throw it in there, maybe on a bass boat or something when I'm going to fish with my friends. I'll throw it in there but a couple casts and I'll rip out like a 5 pounder. It's crazy. So about November and December, it's the hydrilla again. It's just hydrilla. But the thing about fall is there's not really a set thing for fall. So it's kind of like a mix because we just got out of summer, which has different types. So what I want to talk about now is the baits that I like to use in it. I'm going to elaborate more. I already said those. So the jigs I like to use, I don't like to use too heavy of jigs, because too heavy of jigs, if you're fishing shallow water in grass, and it'll just sink to the bottom. No one wants that, because then it just picks up a bunch of crud and stuff you don't want. So I like to use probably about a half ounce, maybe a little bit less than that, 1/4 ounce of a weight on a jig. And the thing with my frogs, there is a specific frog I use that I really like. It's called the Eat Me Guggen frog. I like this frog because it's easy to use. You can cut the tail off. It makes it go back and forth a little bit harder. And it's just the cut on it. It's such a nice frog. And the hooks are super sharp. That's the thing I study a lot when I'm studying about bass fishing, about my hooks. My hooks, I like to be sharp. I like to use mostly expensive hooks. Everybody's like, why you guys spend so much money on hooks? The reason I spend money on hooks is because if you don't have good hooks, they hook fish, but they're not going to get it done when you really need it good on like a 5 pounder or a 6 pounder. So that's just a quick tip.
It's Ben again from Beer Baits, and I'm going to talk about pit bosses. All around, I like to use green pumpkin because it just catches the bass eye. They smell it, they want it. I like also using black with blue flake. That also will catch their eye, and that's what a lot of the big pet bosses look like. A lot of the time, they'll be black and they'll have blue shading on them. That's what they're looking like. And then I like using watermelon, and there's a few others, and they're all very good. I very much suggest them. There's quite a bit of brands that sell them. Powerbait's one of them. I like using Powerbait. When I hook them, I like to do a Texas rig because it's harder for the bait to rip. So when you put it through the top, and then you put it through the mid, and then you can hide the hook. The most thing that I like about Texas rig is you can hide the hook. So you can not get hooked up in the grass. When you get hooked up in the grass and you pull it out of the water, you gotta get all that stuff off, and that takes more time away from your fishing. And you're reeling, you're catching, and you're great time. Grass ruins everything. So you can hide it, and when you hide it in the mid, don't worry, when you hook fish, it's not gonna keep it from hooking the mouth. It's not gonna keep it from doing that. It'll just, since it's a plastic, it's gonna go through the plastic into the mouth. And so the time I like to fish during the day, from very tops 4 a.m. around there morning to 8 o'clock, say, at night, I like to go mostly in the morning, and like 5 to 8, because that's when the bass are feeding. So I like to go during that time.
This is Spring Tips with Beater Baits, and we'll see y'all next time. This is Brendan from Beater Baits, and what I want to